Hi, this is Randy from Funeral Funds of America, and in this video we're going to talk about comparing a Lincoln Heritage $10,000 policy for males age 80 to 85 years old. I'm going to talk specifically about four things. Does Lincoln Heritage offer the best plan and pricing? Is the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society worth paying extra for? Does Lincoln Heritage pay out in 24 hours? And if you have a Lincoln Heritage plan, should you replace it? I can be reached at funeralfunds.com. My direct line is 888-862-9456, and this is our YouTube channel. So let me show you some rates, because that's ultimately how we're going to make a lot of decisions between Lincoln Heritage and a number of other different companies. So here's a quoting tool that we use. We enjoy this one very much. It's very accurate. That's why we use it. It shows $10,000 for a male in Texas. This would be whatever state you live in. Not all companies are available in all states. Come up with a birthday to create an age of 80. We hit the click quote button and let's scroll on down. So $10,000 for a male age 80 is going to be $124. So let's just say roughly $125. That is level coverage, meaning first day coverage. So it will vary depending on what state you live in, but let's go take a look. We know we're $125, and let's get up here. Let's keep going down, scrolling down. 125, 125. We're already at 155, so we're $30 more already. I don't see Lincoln Heritage yet. Remember, 125. Keep going down. Lots of companies here. Lots of companies. Where is Lincoln Heritage? There we go. Oochie mama. $183. Would you rather pay $125 a month or $183 a month? Probably not either, right? But if you had to pay, you probably want to pay the lesser amount. I created this spreadsheet to show pricing, both the lowest price and Lincoln Heritage, just to give you a little better idea of what kind of savings you can expect and how to properly compare Lincoln Heritage to other companies. So we've got a non-smoker male, age 80, $10,000 worth of coverage. Again, the lowest price company was $124. Lincoln Heritage is $183 a month. Quite a difference. That's a difference of $58.91, almost $59, pushing $60, right? So if you go Lincoln Heritage, you're going to overpay right around 32%. Now, what I did here is I created over here in the green, I said, hey, what if somebody's happy paying $183? They're okay with that premium, but they'd like to get more than $10,000 coverage. Well, if you apply that $183 to this company over here, you get more coverage, and that's what happens over here. And if you paid the $183 instead of the $124, instead of $10,000, you would have $12,600, $12,616. Why that is important is inflation, right? Inflation just increases the cost of everything. And you know, if you die today, the cost is going to be different than it is 5 years from now. So all things considered, if you can get more insurance for the same amount of money, you need to do that. So just take a look at some of these other numbers. After 1 year, you will have overpaid with Lincoln Heritage versus a lesser price company, $706. I would imagine you could probably spend $706 on yourself and have more fun than giving that to an insurance company. Most people could. Let's say, however, though, you keep your plan for 10 years, you will have now overpaid $7,069. 15 years, you have overpaid $10,600 on a $10,000 plan. If you lived another 20 years, which let's consider this, you are 80. If you live 20 years, you're going to be 100 years old. Good for you if that happens, right? But you will have paid $14,000, or you have overpaid $14,000 on a policy that's going to only pay out $10,000. So, you know, Lincoln Heritage will say, well, we've got the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, and, you know, we'll save you money doing that way. Well, are they saving you money, or are they just overcharging you, making you pay more right off the bat? So I ran some numbers here. If you'd had your policy 10 years, and let's say the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, they spent 3 hours, maybe phoning a couple places and doing a couple things, you know, you would have overpaid them equivalent an hourly rate of $2,356 an hour. If they just spent, again, that's the overage, the $7,000 divided by 3 hours. After 15 years, you'll pay them $3,534. And after 20 years, you're almost paying them $5,000 an hour. So we just don't recommend it. You know, what we actually recommend is we have a free funeral and estate planning guide that we offer not just our clients, we give it away for free. And that way you can do all your planning in advance, because typically somebody in the family is going to have the capability and kind of the emotional maturity to kind of handle these things after you're gone. And we just kind of feel that, we would rather see all this money go to your family with more coverage and then just reimburse them for kind of taking care of it. If there's any money left over, they get to keep it rather than give it to the insurance company. Here's what our planning guide looks like. And you can just go on our website and just get this for free. For planning guide, you just click the download now button, and it'll download it to your computer, and you can just print it out and fill it out. It's a wonderful asset, and it's free. As you can see, as you get older, it gets quite expensive. This insurance does. In many cases, it may not make sense to get this insurance at all if you're in your mid 80s, because you've just waited too long, and frankly, it just gets a little too expensive. So just be aware of that. If you're thinking about getting insurance, get it before it's too late. Holy cow. Otherwise, you end up paying a lot more later. That's even if you qualify, because a lot of people get health issues as they get older, and they won't necessarily qualify for all the different plans out there. So we've covered our first two topics. Does Lincoln Heritage offer the best plan and pricing? And is the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society worth paying extra for? Let's jump into number 3. Does Lincoln Heritage pay out in 24 hours? If we go to Lincoln Heritage website and we just scroll down a little bit, they'll give us some guidance on if they pay in 24 hours. Because frankly, we just hear a lot of people coming to us saying, hey, Lincoln Heritage says they pay out in 24 hours. And we just direct them back to Lincoln Heritage's website, because they tell the truth on their website. So it says Lincoln Heritage sends money to your beneficiary as quickly as possible. That's probably not too reassuring that it's going to pay out in 24 hours, right? And then it says most claims are paid within 24 hours of a claim approval. It doesn't say within 24 hours of a death. Grandma's not going to die yesterday and you're getting the cash today. No, that claim's got to be approved. And, if somebody dies in the first 2 years, then Lincoln Heritage has the right to kind of just make sure that everything was filled out correctly and everybody told the truth and there weren't any health or medical impairments. And they have the right to do that. They have the right to contest that if there's any inaccuracies. Also, any insurance company is going to need a death certificate and some other paperwork. So that's typically going to be the number one thing that's going to delay things, is get that death certificate quickly. Now, if we look down here a little bit lower, approved claims paid in 24 hours. So yeah, after it's gone through the entire process and everything, then it's approved. Of course, once it's approved, that check is easy to cut and get it out. Now, they say what you get with other final expense plans, benefits can take weeks or months to reach your family. Well, it is no different than Lincoln Heritage if it happens in the first 2 years. So just be totally aware of that. And even after the first 2 years, they're still going to need the death certificate and all the proper paperwork and everything. It's not going to get paid in 24 hours. The approved claim will get paid in 24 hours. On their website, they say it accurately. Approved claims paid in 24 hours. By just turning around 2 words, by saying claims approved in 24 hours, means a totally different thing. So if you see advertising out there, or if you have a Lincoln Heritage agent kind of use some creative verbiage on you, direct them back to the website and go, nope, only approved claims are paid in 24 hours. And that leads us to our final topic is, if you have a Lincoln Heritage plan, should you replace it? Well, maybe you should be the judge of that. If you've signed up in the last year or two, let's just say within the last year, and you could pay Lincoln Heritage $183, or you could go find a lower price insurance company and pay $124 and save almost $60 a month. I mean, that's a huge deal. That's over $700 a year that you're going to be saving. We would encourage you to keep that money in your own pocket. Now, as your policy gets a little bit older, say you've been in it 2, 3, 4 years, typically 2 and 3 years, it may still make sense. Once you get beyond 4 and 5 years, it's typically not making too much sense. But if you look at here, for the age 80, Lincoln Heritage is $183. Even 5 years later with a lower price company, you can get that for $169. Quite a bit of savings, even after 5 years over a Lincoln Heritage plan. So, we always caution people to make smart decisions and, talk with an insurance agent, and don't let them push you into anything. Just make sure that you totally understand everything, that you get the feeling that they're they're actually doing the right thing for you, not the right thing for them, just to get a commission. But you know, once your policy's been in place more than 2 years, we're pretty cautious about replacing. We always want to do the right thing for our clients. I see one other thing here is did some research on potential concerns or disadvantages of the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society. And if you're interested in reading this, just hit the pause button. This is just some stuff we've researched on the internet just to kind of give you a little bit more understanding. We're not going to talk about it. Again, I can be reached at funeralfunds.com. My phone number is 888-862-9456. Thank you, and we look forward to earning your business. Bye-bye.